What college are you going to?
I am going to Lincoln University in Pennsylvania.
I'm going to UC Berkeley.
I'm going to University of the Pacific.
Going to Grand Canyon University.
Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
San Francisco State University.
The University of Arizona.
Next year I plan on attending OCC to continue playing baseball.
I committed to Fullerton, but I'm waiting for LMU to reply.
How many applications did you fill out?
16?
4.
8.
About 18 college applications.
Probably like 7.
Why do you want to go to college?
To further my education, I can't be a physical therapist without a degree, so
I want to go to college because I'm going specifically for theater, and that's what I want to do with my life. I feel like it's something I need to learn more about it, even though I feel comfortable with it. I want to excel.
Well, I kind of have a different reason. I want to continue playing baseball, but besides that, I want to go and I want to learn more. I want to progress as a student. I want to be as smart as I can possibly be, and I want to experience that part of life.
There are no more options in my house. You go to high school, you go to college, you get a degree, then you get a job. So that's all I've ever known is to go to college. So
Why am I going to college? Well, I don't think I have much of a choice given that not going to college is sort of a social stigma nowadays, but I do want to go to college because I understand it's important to be successful and to get a good job.
Why do you want to go to college? On a scale of 1 to 100, what was your stress level first semester of senior year?
probably like, an 85.3
Why?
because I had school to deal with, and then it was all the applications and stuff, and it required a lot of information. It was just very overwhelming.
Like 75 because, I don't know, dealing with school and applications, especially because I did 16 applications, it was too much to handle with school and tests and everything, and I took the SATs and ACTs, so it was just a lot of things to do at once, and it stretched me out very thin.
Pretty 70 out of 100. It's pretty stressful. I mean, it's hard, being a senior, first semester senior, balancing all your grades, getting everything ready, and then college, applying for colleges. I mean, that, like everyone says, is a class in and of itself, so.
I mean, I would like to say 100 just because I like complaining about my life, but it was probably more like an 80 compared to junior year because my classes weren't too hard this year. It was just stressful because of college applications.
Was the pressure of getting into college overwhelming, or was it easy to handle?
It was pretty overwhelming. I think after I submitted all my applications, I felt a lot better, but then there's the waiting period to figure out if you got in, and that was also super stressful.
in the beginning, it was too overwhelming, and then I forced myself to, in a sense, just forget about it, not even think about acceptance letters, and then when I completely forgot about it, that's when I got all my letters, and then I started to get overwhelmed because I didn't know which one to choose.
But that time where you're questioning everything, am I going to get into the school? Am I, is it even worth applying to? It's pretty stressful, but the fact that after you find out where you're going and you know your next step in life, then it's the best feeling in the world.
How long did you study for the SAT?
I started in the summertime because I was taking lessons or classes, and that didn't stop until the day before I took my SAT.
For the entire summer before junior year, I took classes, and then I took the SAT 3 times, so each time I took it, I studied for probably a month beforehand.
Well, my first SAT, I didn't study at all. My second SAT, I studied for about a month and a half, and then my third SAT was about a month, but it was a month of solid study.
I mean, probably the day before, I studied a whole lot, and a few weeks before I kind of maybe looked at a prep book.
Did you feel confident?
I felt decently prepared. I didn't feel like I was just going to go in and own it, but I felt like I could manage.
Do you think in general people put too much stress on it?
Yeah, it's not worth it. I got a 1380 and I'm going to a 4-year university. You don't have to do that well.
Since the SAT is a test to see how well you can test, do you think it's worth the stress?
It's worth the stress if you want to get into like a UC or like schools around here, but if you're planning on going like, to a big university, it's not that big of a deal.
Do you think it should be so much stress about it?
No.
Yes, I think that the stress for the SAT is important because the SAT is one of the ways that colleges can look at you and decide whether or not you're a good candidate for their school.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a test basically on common sense, and a lot of it is like, it's just things that you're supposed to remember, but most of it you don't even really use in life, you know. It's just an aptitude test. It's not even anything that is worth stressing out over, but colleges put a lot of pressure on it, and, you know, kids have to stress out.
Do you put more pressure on yourself to succeed, or do you think there's more pressure from society?
I feel like I put more pressure on myself. That's just because I know I want to be educated, and I just want to keep myself in gear. I really don't pay attention to society. I don't let anybody else try to render my decisions.
I think personally, I put more pressure on myself to succeed. I think society has its standard, which it judges how hard it wants students to work, but I generally try to work as hard as I can.
I think both. I think because society puts pressure on me, I put pressure on myself to do well for myself.
But because of just society as a whole and how everyone's always saying, oh, you have to do well on the SAT, or oh, you have to get into college, or oh, you have to do well in school, I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on kids, especially me, you know, having to do well.